We're back in, we'll try to sin. I don't know what we're doing. I gonna make a little session run. I'm gonna ruin. We got a fresh haircut. We're back in this but I don't know what the rut we're gonna talk about. I'm getting on a different camera. There I am. And I don't know why I talk about cameras every time I come on here, because most people listen to it on the podcast, and I'm like, hey, look at the camera 1 and camera 2. And I'm like, what the fuck am I doing? I do that for like 5 minutes. And I got him a wrap, so here. That's my beat. I made up the rap beat there. And sometimes I know what I'm saying. Sometimes I work out of town. I'm a union electrician, so like I drive like 3 hours to San Jose and back and forth. So sometimes I'm like, okay, I'm gonna make a wrap up, and then I get in here, I'm like, oh fuck. Okay, well back in the studio here we have Chris, right?
Chris Cruz.
Chris
in the
Cruz.
mix.
Hell yeah. Instagram label.
At Chris Cruz Comedy. That is my Instagram label.
Instagram comedy. Hell yeah. And you got a show coming up you're talking about in the Mint?
Yeah, in the Tower District out here in Fresno.
Yeah.
The Mint nightclub, February 19th. I got a comedy show, and I'm actually going to run a promotion for any listeners out here. Reach out to the podcast here, and I'll get you guys some free tickets. I'm going to give about 10 tickets away to anybody who wants that.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. I'll put that on the website and everything. Hell yeah. Mint. I've seen a lot of Instagram posts, a lot of stuff going on at the Mint. I haven't been out to the Mint yet, but it seems like it's a happening place. Like they're working hard to put on shows of some sort.
Yeah. They're putting on a lot of shows every Saturday. They got some EDM, house, techno, something going on. Every Thursday they got karaoke, but they're doing something. Yeah. They're working hard. That's
good. It's hard to stay with one. I was just talking to a place tonight, and then they're trying to do like open mic music. Man, that does not sell. Dude, it's usually just like one guy who convinces you to do it, and then he goes out there and jams for like 2 hours.
Yeah, open mics are tough. Open mics are tough.
Yeah, open mic comedy is tough, but like, open mic music is the worst. I one time I played this open mic music. It was at a coffee shop, and nobody was really there. And then this guy came to play guitar, and he was kind of older, and he brought his mom and his uncle or something. But the mom was like about 75 and had Parkinson. So she sat down, and it was like doing like, this the whole time. And I played rock music. So to me, I was feeling it. I was like, that's my fucking number one fan right there, So
she's just asleep.
Fuck yeah, kicking out. I killed it. Killed her. I apologize for it. But yeah, sweet. Well, so anybody else going to be on your with you going to be at the Mint?
So that's the big thing. The headliner I have is one of the biggest guys that I have in my arsenal, man. Kyrie Shabazz, he was on Late Night with Jimmy Fallon. He did a Comedy Central, it was called The Ringers with Bill Burr. He presented him. He actually got interviewed by Bill Burr.
Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah, and he was on his way to just be a star until 2020 kind of threw a wrench into everything. Yeah, so I mean, I have a long history of working with pretty strong comics that end up, doing big things later. And this is one of those guys that, I mean, he's just, at some point soon, we're just not going to be able to get him back in Fresno. So
yeah,
catching him while he's on his way up.
There you go. Yeah, that's what it takes. A lot of these guys are like right there, about to blow up, and take the opportunity to see. Even like back in the day, who was it? Sublime played Club Fred.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I was like, who's this Sublime? I'm gonna check this band out. Then 4 years later, I was like, damn, I should have. What the fuck? I didn't go to the show.
But it's crazy. You see, there's like 100 different mics like that, and you just don't know who's going to be the next one up. So.
Well, sometimes, like I said, you'll find these guys that are in your arsenal, and those people that you believe in because you think they're funny. You're like, oh, here's these guys, and they're there.
Hell yeah.
I go to open mics. I do a little bit of stand-up here and there, and sometimes I'm like, man, you're just trying to hang out with people. Like, I get it. It's cool. I get it, But some of these people, though, there's a guy we had on, Antonio Martinez. This guy's real young. He's been hitting it up like every night, hitting every open mic possible. And he has a show February in Gardena. He's opening up for somebody. And literally he's been doing it for like 4 months, 5 months, but just nonstop.
Yeah. It's all about who you know.
Yeah. So sometimes you're funny, Sometimes people just think they're funny. I was having a conversation with the guy. There's always these people that say like what they're going to do. was like, I don't like having tattoo conversations. I have tattoos. I like covering them up. I like wearing masks. I realize now in public, I like to hide. You know, because especially I do this all the time. So when people be like, oh, you're, and plus I look like, you know, the dude from Friends. I look like everybody knows me and everybody wants to talk to me. Don't I know you? I'm like, no, you don't know me. So the mask covers me up, but I don't like having like tattoo conversations. I remember back in the day when I was single, be at a bar and girls like, oh, you know what tattoo I'm thinking about getting? I'm like, bitch, you ain't getting tattoos. You know, let me show you. Don't show me pictures. You know, and a lot of artists are like that. You know what I'm thinking about doing? Like, you ain't doing shit.
Yeah, everybody's talking about it.
Yeah.
Everybody's talking about something. But hold on, he looks like the dude from Friends. Who are you talking about, Gunther?
No, I wish. That'd be great. He was fucking the Sim. You know, no, who was the guy who dated Jennifer Aniston?
Ross.
Sometimes people say, you look like Ross. Like, fuck, the Ross?
What?
You know, so screw you guys, you know? That's the way it goes. You know, my wife, she watches Friends, and she's a big Friends fan. And one thing that trips me out about my wife is she'll watch an episode of Friends that she's seen 100 times, and then laugh. And I'm like, I know it's funny, but you'll like laugh. Like
it's coming.
I know you'll laugh like the first time you ever seen it. You know, I'm like, you've seen this episode? I'll see it 100 times. Like, what? It's like, we get it. The joke, we know where the joke's coming. Yeah. And it gets her every time.
I mean, there's some shows like that. I feel like The Office and Parks and Rec, Community, Arrested Development, those kind of like shows like that you can keep watching and find new things. But, but Friends?
Yeah. People like sometimes, there's always a different comedy for everybody. Yeah. So sometimes not to get too judgmental. Like me, like music-wise, I like whiny voices. I don't know why I like whiny voices, but I like whiny voices. And then with comics, nothing against. I'm not masculine to anything, but I don't like. I haven't found many female comics that I found funny. You know what I mean? But I don't know if it's I don't know what it is, you know. But
well, I mean, there's a theory behind that. So the reason why most female comics that make it big, you kind of watch and are a little underwhelmed, it's because they get picked up quicker than normal. For instance, if there's, you know, two different comics at the same time, one's a female and one's a male, and they're both like the same level of funny, the female will for sure get noticed first. For sure. And she'll get put on to bigger shows, and then more people, and they'll kind of steamroll, and then they'll get the big spotlight, and now they've got to turn their 10 minutes into 45.
Before their talent is built up. Yeah, I see what you're talking about.
Correct. So, I mean, they're there. Believe me when I tell you this. There are some female comics, a lot of female comics that'll just put you on your ass like start to finish, but those are the ones that, you know, worked and built their skill set and got there, you know.
I think there's some, like, I don't know, maybe it's just sex comedy doesn't get me. I mean, and sometimes they pigeonhole themselves into being a sex comic. They'll talk about dildos or fucking and stuff like that because it gets attention. You know, and like, you know, go out and that's not the comfort. Like, who was the big older Lisa Lampanelli? Yeah, you know, I've never been into her. That's not that she's not funny, but like Whitney Cummings, she has that show Two Broke Girls. You know, that's with like a bunch of writers. Andre, what's that? Like comic. He always hides his penis. What's that?
Man, I don't know.
Andre, man.
Andre? Yeah. Hides his penis? Is a black comic?
Yeah.
I don't.
Andre's last name or his first name? Skipping my head. But anyways, there were a bunch of people were on that show, and the show's great. It's like comedy. It's a joke after joke after joke. Whitney Cummings, I think she's a great writer, but when I see her in stand-up, it's okay. Yeah. You know?
Yeah, there's a really funny comic by the name of Carmen Morales, who she just had a Showtime special. Man, from the beginning, she was one of those just like real funny comics. Like, man, woman, it doesn't matter. Stand-up comedy, her ability is just astronomical. And I mean, if she keeps rising the way that she is with this Showtime special going up, you're gonna hopefully hear her out there. But she's hilarious, man.
I gotta check her out. Yeah. I like clever jokes. Sometimes when I go watch comedy, people think that I don't like it, but I'm just like sitting there, like sometimes just like listening. And when they tell a really good joke, I'm thinking about how they get there or where they're going. Like, oh, that was good. I'm digging too deep into it, you know?
Yeah, that's the beauty of comedy, man. Like, I like to break it down into paradigms, you know? Like, there's laughter that an audience gives because they like the comic, and then there's laughter that is taken from the audience because the joke was just undeniably funny.
Yes.
You know, for instance, like Gabriel Iglesias, a very likable comic.
Yes.
If you listen to his stand-up, it's not his recent stuff isn't the best, like, written stuff, but, I mean, he's very likable.
Yeah.
So you watch him and you laugh because you like him.
You like him.
And then there's somebody like, for instance, Louis C.K., who has all this different baggage and stuff that you kind of have to look past, but his jokes
are on point.
Undeniable.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter if you hate the guy. Like, it's still funny and you're still going to laugh. So,
good luck.
You know, but being that audience member in the audience, just like kind of watching it, that's fine. You know, like as a comic, you have to work with that. You have to take the laughs. You just got to do what you got to do, you know?
Yeah, I've always noticed, like, when I get on stage, I'm the tall, white, you know, I would just say I'm like a 7, but they're like, I don't want to hear this fucking white dude, you know, this fucking Republican talk. I'm Democrat, but I'm like, so like I always gotta be almost like self-deprecating and kind of like, I'm not the likable guy they want to see up there. Like, fucking get this bastard off there. So I'm like, I gotta work around it, you know. So I get it.
That's real.
Yeah, I've actually heard people follow up and says, "Oh, great, another a white male on stage telling us his opinions." I'm Mexican. So just a little bit, just playing the role, depends, you know.
Yeah, comedy's crazy, man. Comedy's just it's wild.
Yeah, I've always been a big fan. I've talked back in the day. Showtime always had specials. I'm 45. Ginny Jones was a comic, you know, and she was always on the Showtime specials. And then Ginny Jones got a Ginny Jones TV show and stopped doing comedy. You know, when you have stage presence, typically you can get up there, and she's smart enough to write and be clever, so they made her a talk show host. A lot of these people, I think, Jerry Seinfeld, he was a mayor, I think, before he became a TV host.
Jerry Seinfeld?
No, sorry, Jerry Springer.
Jerry Springer was okay.
Yeah.
Man, I don't know anything about Ginny Jones or Jerry Springer.
I've always wanted to be a comic growing up. I tell the story, like, when I grew up, I watched a lot of television, but I couldn't always decide. I was always like trying to figure out who I was. Was I going to be Fonzie or Potsy? Am I going to be kid or play? You know, you couldn't be the cool guy and the funny guy. But I'm a class clown, but I always wanted to be like picking up chicks. And so I couldn't figure out my path when really my path would just be myself. I was trying to always like identify with something I saw on TV or entertainment. So I could never figure out who I was going to be, you know? So I've always been into comedy since like day one. Gallagher, Howie Mandel's early stuff, before Howie Mandel became whoever he is now. Hilarious when he had hair.
Wow. Yeah. That's so crazy. I was never into stand-up growing up.
Oh, yeah?
And there's a lot of people like that, though, that were just into it from being a kid, watching all the special Steve Martin, Kinnison, early stuff. Like, I didn't start getting into stand-up until, like, my junior year of high school.
Were you exposed to it?
I mean, I didn't really get it. It went over my head. As a kid, I just liked to play video games.
Okay.
Sega Genesis, Nintendo, Super Nintendo. Yeah. That's where my focus was. And then I would watch comedy and be like, it's not funny. And I'd turn around. Now that I know what it goes into it, I rewatch these specials I used to not like, and I'm just like, these guys are geniuses. Like, oh, man, the level of mastery that this comic has. Yeah, and it's crazy. It's like when I'm a kid, it's just like cheesecake to a bum. You know, I just didn't understand it.
Was there a comic or a show or something that kind of like turned the page for you? Like,
absolutely, yeah. It was Pablo Francisco. That was a comic I saw. It was a Comedy Central Presents in 2000, and I saw it, and I remember spitting my milk out all over the table because I was laughing so hard. And from start to finish, my stomach hurt. I was laughing so hard. And that was the one where I was just like, I'm in love with stand-up. And I started trying to find as many different comics from then on, and it was just a bug that bit me at that point.
Hell yeah. I've been lucky. My dad, he was always into music back in the day. My dad's from the Bay Area, so he always had vinyl. And then my dad's also an open stoner, so Cheech and Chong, and then Bill Cosby and Steve Martin. He's always had all his vinyl. So when I was like 8, I'm listening to Cheech and Chong, and I didn't really get it, but I kind of understood the idea. And I even told a story like when I was like 12, I used to go to a bookstore and buy joke books. They used to have these ones, Truly Tasteless books. It was broken up by like race, sex, creed, and all these the worst book you can possibly imagine. So like I'm born and raised here in Clovis. I'm slightly Hispanic. My mom's Mexican, but like we have besides my mom have like sewing, cooking, and gardening. There's no Spanish in my house, nothing like that, So, and in Clovis, there's not too much culture. We had like one black guy, a little bit of Mexicans, and then like when it was like around late '80s, we had a bunch of Laotians show up, So when I read these books, like what a Jewish person was, or Portuguese, Italian, I'm like, Oh, okay, I get it. They're dirty. Oh, they're stingy. Okay, but I really didn't know. I don't know any of these people just going by these, stereotypes and books. But I've always been deeply into. I like that with everything, though. Tear everything apart. If you've seen do you still go see comedy? Do you let them?
I try not to, man.
Yeah.
I actually actively try to avoid as much comedy as possible, just because I write so frequently.
Yeah.
If I watch comedy, what could happen is I watch a special, and a year will go by, and I'll have a joke that I think I'm organically coming up with that I kind of grazed off of something in my memory. You know, so I try my hardest not to watch stand up. But seeing it live and in person, I get a lot of that because I'm actively, going to different shows and stuff. So I'm seeing a lot of comedy in that sense. But I just don't watch too many specials.
Yeah, I'm still filling my head up with much. I write a bunch, but like, you know who Andrew Schultz is? Mm-hmm. Yeah, Andrew Schultz is pretty big, and his co-host is Oshkosh. I think his name is Akash or whatever his name is. He's pretty good, but he has a special coming out February 2nd, and he has a joke on there that I'm pretty sure that I've told on my podcast, and I've hit him up a couple times, like, hey, they were looking for a new audio engineer. So I'm like, hey, I'll quit my job right now, and I'll come up and bring all my shit, record your podcast, And then now he has a special. I have to tell this joke about Me Too, because that's how it kind of started off doing podcast. I was doing stand-up, and I'm like, I'm not getting enough time. I'm working in San Jose. I'm like, I'm not getting enough time up there. So I'm like, I'm just going to start doing these podcasts, and I can just run my bits. It doesn't matter who's listening, but I can start recording it and then listening to it over and over again. So anyways, I did this bit about Me Too. I said, I don't get on the internet very often. I saw a thing on Instagram by Me Too. I thought it was about people they would, have sex with. It was always girls Me Too me. Like, hell yeah, Me Too. And then they said Hillary Clinton put a Me Too. I'm like, hell no, me no, So, and then he has a joke almost identical to that Me Too joke. I was like, that's kind of odd because it's so distanced from the Me Too movement, and then it's kind of a crude joke,
Well, I mean, that's a horrible joke.
Yeah, I know.
So you didn't really lose much with that.
No, I never took it. It didn't never come up together, So, it's like, so that's what's spitting it here where you hate to hear it, like, okay, that didn't work out.
Yeah, I got a system, man. When I first started doing stand-up, and this is for anybody listening that wants to get started, what I did was, just like you, I said my jokes out, and I got the ones that I thought were my favorite. I recorded them, and I gave that to one person because there's somebody in your life that just laughs at everything you say.
Yeah.
I gave that recording to them, and I said, you pick, top to bottom, what was your favorite, what was your least favorite? And then I gave that recording to someone that does not like me, that, like, actively throws shade on everything I say.
Yeah.
And I told them, like, all right, well, you're not going to like any of these, but I'm going to still ask you to just rate them from top to bottom. And then what you get is the jokes that they both like, the Venn diagram, the jokes that they both like.
Yeah.
You're covered.
Now circle.
Exactly. So now you have jokes that somebody who's there to support you will like, and somebody who's there not to support you will like.
Oh, yeah.
And then there you go.
Yeah, because a good joke is a good joke. Right. Yeah. Hell yeah.
And it's hard. It's hard to write like a standard joke of conventional, like, guy walks into a bar. Those jokes are very hard to write. It took me, I have one joke that took me like years to finally craft, and it's fleeting. It's going to go away. At some point, it's just, I'm not going to be able to say it anymore. But it took me like 4 or 5 years to write, and I'm gonna be able to use it for like a year and a half before it gets stale or like time evolves and I can't say it anymore. So it's like, comedy's wild, man.
Yeah, that's why I've always been a big fan of like Stephen Wright. Wright, he just kicks out just joke after joke after joke, and even like who's the new Stephen Wright? Man, I'm just missing fucking names. He had his own show. He's pretty crude. Anthony Jeselnik.
Okay.
And that guy will throw in, like, every special will have 150 jokes and just keep on going. And they're kind of like written. It's not a story with funny, callbacks. They're straight out jokes, Yeah. It's like, man, that's fucking hard to write that many.
Mark Norman's another one like that.
I love him.
Just
love him.
Joke.
And his point of view, like, he tells a joke about gays. He said, well, what if your son was gay? And, I was like, well, I wouldn't mind. It'd be like if I ordered onion rings and there was a French fry. It's not what I expected, but I like those too. I was like, yeah, what a fucking great point of view on things, So I like him. He's always on the Rogan. They do a little special. Him, Ari, Shane Gillis.
Oh, man.
Nice little group of people, that hear him just off the cuff crack jokes, and they're different. Ari Shafir, Joe Rogan and all these different comics, so to hear them at one time, off the cuff is pretty good.
Yeah.
I have 2 jokes I wrote that I'm pretty sure that every time I tell them, I'm like, someone else had to write that. I no way that's new, But eventually, I'm worried that I'm gonna tell it, be like, hey, someone else tells that joke. But like, yeah, it is.
What's the joke?
They're just basic small jokes. So one is the why you don't take a Pokemon to the bathroom?
Why?
He might take a Pikachu.
Stupid,
right? And so it seems so basic. Like someone hasn't wrote that yet. And then
there's many Pikachu puns out there.
Yeah, so like
100 million of those.
Yeah. So and then I'm remarried, so I do a whole 5 minutes on divorce. And one of my opening bit is they say that 60% of marriages end in divorce. That means 40% end in suicide or death. It's like fucking clever as fuck. And I'm like, no one's ever said that? I'm like, I'm pretty sure no one's ever said that before. But it seems like someone's had to say that before.
I just don't know how well that would do on stage, though. You know what I'm saying? So
they love that.
They do?
They love it. The people laugh because if you're married, like suicide or death, like, oh, that's fucking funny. I'm gonna kill this bitch. You know what I mean? I'm gonna kill myself. So that's always my fresh opener because people love that, and then they don't know how to take me now. They're like, okay, who the fuck's this guy? You know what I mean? He's talking about divorce and death and suicide, so they like that one.
Okay.
I do a joke about Caitlyn Jenner in San Jose. They don't like Caitlyn Jenner jokes in San Jose.
Yeah. In fact, I was just talking to a comic. I booked him from L.A. He's going to be on that 19th show, and I had to let him know, like, in L.A., some jokes work that don't work in Fresno, and vice versa. Some jokes work in Fresno that don't work in L.A., so it's like out here you could tell a fart joke out here. Everyone's going to laugh, and in L.A., they might be like, oh, come on, I mean, that's a bad example, but it's just like you can't, like, they're super left in LA. So if you go up there and you say anything that's pushing against that, they're just going to turn on you. It doesn't matter how funny the joke is. Like, that needs to be a perfect joke for them to laugh. And same thing down here. Like, if you say something too in the middle, the crowd will just kind of be like, that was weak. So it's like you said, San Jose, they don't like that Caitlyn Jenner joke. No. That joke might kill out here or kill in Texas. You know, like.
I don't think it's worked anywhere yet so far. But it's not derogatory either. I'm not going to run my whole bits through you. But I'm saying I'm not that kind of guy like to put people down. If anything, I try to put myself down, and I don't want to put anybody else down. It's like, I'm not punching down, So, but as soon as I hear Caitlyn Jenner and then they're like, oh, this is not going to be good. It doesn't matter what I say after that, Yeah. But I know when I said it, the whole crowd got quiet and I was like thinking in my head, like I almost like stepped out for a second. And I'm watching myself, hey, Reuben, don't do it. Don't want to continue. I'm like, I have to. See how it goes.
It's nuts, man.
Sometimes I do it for myself. So how long have you been doing stand-up for now? For about?
Since 2009. So I'm coming on 12 years, coming on my 13th this year.
That's good. It's a long time.
Yeah.
Are you doing open mics? Or are you just doing, now you're pretty legit, right?
I mean, I don't know. If anybody says that they're legit, fucking slap them in the face or throw water in them. That's just nobody's gonna. Hey, I'm legit, man.
Thank you.
I've been on fucking. I've been at the comedy show. Like nobody fucking talks like that, dude. Like, I'm confident in my stage presence and my material. You know what I mean? I can genuinely believe that if I go into a crowd that has never seen me, that I'll do very well. You know.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I performed at a bunch of different spots. I've been doing it for 12 years.
Yeah.
So
I'm saying you're putting on shows though. You're doing shows pretty much. Like
when I first started, I was doing open mics, and I started putting on shows, and I started traveling, and then I kind of dialed back to traveling, started putting on shows again, and now I just do it for the fun,
Yeah.
Because the thing about stand-up comedy is like I always make this analogy: stand-up comedy is like bungee jumping. I recommend everybody do it. Everybody should push past that fear and do it because it's fun.
Yeah.
But don't try and make a living doing bungee jumping. There's only a few people that can do that, and it's almost like it doesn't matter how good at bungee jumping you are, like there's only a select amount of spots, and it's like you're just gonna waste your time trying to make it, But I mean, there are people that make it in stand up, but for the wrong reasons,
Yeah, 100%. I listen to. Like I said, I drive to San Jose and back and forth every day, so there's like 6 hours of time to fucking listen to shit. So I listen to podcasts like crazy. Brian Callen is kind of like that guy. I don't know if you know Brian Callen, comic, actor, everything. I don't know. Dude's like 87 years old now, but he's still really hasn't technically in his mind made it, but he wants to try to make it, you know. So he's obviously been made a living at it, you know. But you know, it's like you said, if it finds you, it's gonna find you, right?
Yeah.
You know, so you better. I always tell these other guys sometimes, like, what's your plan? Yeah, I'm a good like a dad because I already have a job sometimes. Like, what's your plan?
Your plan should be to just have fun. I mean, I've always had. They call what I am a hobbyist, which I have a full-time job.
Yeah.
You know, and I do stand up on the side, so I'm not really all the way in. You know, and if you're all the way in, then you're living in your car, you're going to mics, you're just live, breathe, and bleed nothing but comedy.
Yeah.
You know, and that you could do that, but it's a path of suffering, man.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So anybody that wants to do it, I say just have that mindset of I'm doing this to have fun, and that's it, you know, because there's a lot of fun to be had in stand-up.
For sure.
You know?
Yeah. I noticed, like, when I used to play bands, it was like, first you want to be, you know, make it big. But now, like, I look back and people play, like, in cover bands, like, oh, that dude's still playing music. I mean, I'm not. So that guy understood, hey, I like to play music, so this is what it takes to play music, so I'm playing in a band. You know what I mean? So he's doing it for the fun of it, and, you know, he probably still writes music and stuff and does what he wants to do, but he gets to do what he wants to do.
Yeah.
And I'm not playing. You know, so that guy fucking wins. Hell yeah. No, fucking stand-up's amazing. I've gone a couple little out-of-town shows here and there. I haven't done quite a bit, enough. I need to do a lot more, you know, in my mind, but fucking been editing and doing so much shit here. I don't know if you know, we do like 3 or 4 shows. I do an MMA show, I do a sports show, I do a murder mystery show. I edit them, and so, you know, I pull all these things back. We got a green screen. I rent the studio out for possible people want to do other podcasts and stuff. And we're trying to get other people in here. I'm trying to find a female voice, you know, so like you can get another little bit of texture. But then also, you know, hard time is when you bring another person in. Sometimes be like, the chick's out. It's like 40% here and 40% here, and you're like 20%. So stay around 20%, you know. But that's like kind of rude of a dickhead thing to say. But like, there's roles, right? You know, in things. But I haven't got to that point yet. You know, but I've always thought about in my head, like, how's this gonna work out? Well, man, cool. I appreciate you coming in. You're gonna be at the Mint on. You said the
19th. So it's Saturday, February 19th.
Yeah, awesome. I reach out to everybody. I tell everybody the same thing. We have an open door policy here. You know, you want to come in, anything you want to promote, you know, feel free to come in. I really appreciate you responding. You don't know how many people I send a message to, and they won't respond, or they'll say, oh, you know, because sometimes you'll look at something like a YouTube and they'll be like, oh, this guy gets like 4 views. But really, I can show you I get 4,000 views in 28 days. You know what I mean? Just on YouTube channel. So people finally get in here. I'm like, I'm helping everybody. I get nothing from this, you know, except for everybody else to be part of this community. I want to support everybody. So I really appreciate you coming in.
Yeah, no problem, man.
Hey, thanks again. Well, this is another episode of Lion and the Truth.
Whoa, that's it? That's the podcast?
Oh, we can keep going. Fuck.
That was like 3 minutes.
Fuck. What time we got here? Hey, let's keep going. Hey, I love it. What time that we got here? I'm free. That's, what you got?
I mean, I just...
Fuck, 28 minutes. Oh, I read the room.
That was 28 minutes?
Yeah.
We were talking for 28 minutes right now?
Dude, it happens sometimes.
You're lying.
Hey, let's keep going. I'm down. I got nowhere to go. Shit.
Well, I just want to tell you, before this, you were talking about, you had something about Fresno aliens and that Joe Rogan is in a fight with someone else.
We haven't even touched any subjects. That's how it goes sometimes. People always say, like, we're going to talk about, and like, dude, I really don't know what we're going to talk about, because, like,
you're like, this motherfucker's boring. I'm gonna get out of here.
I write shit down, and, like, I try to read the room sometimes, you know, like, almost like I don't try to think I'm so cool, like, almost like dating, right? You're talking to a chick, and it seems like, oh, this bitch ain't into me. I'm like, okay, well, cool. Well, you have a good day. You know, like, so, like, instead of saying, so, what's your number? Like, the bitch turns me down, like, oh, that didn't work out very good. No, but I've been reading a lot of, like, locally, there was been a UFO sighting here in Fresno, like, literally, like, 8 days ago. There was a bunch of lights above Fresno.
You know what, man? This is a hotbed. I've seen some stuff in the sky.
We keep saying that.
Now, the thing is, like, sane people will see stuff and just be like, nope. Not today. I'm not letting that bother my peace. Yeah. I'm not telling nobody. Man, I think it was last year or maybe the year before. I think it was when the pandemic like first kind of happened.
Yeah.
I saw some weird lights. I was coming off the 41 off Shields, and I saw a weird light. I don't know if it was a drone. It must have been a drone because a helicopter started following it, and they were going fast. Huh. And I was just tripping out like, what is going on? And then I saw it again, and I just had to. I told a friend about it, and I just sounded like a crazy person. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? And there's also the Fresno Nightwalker. You seen that?
No.
So that's something that's unique. There's no other footage of this in the world, only in Fresno. But you can look. It's the Fresno Nightwalker. It looks like a little balloon, and it has a sheet dangling off of it, and it's kind of just like hovering. There's a video of it just like walking through someone's yard, and there's no explanation for it. Like they've shown it to people. People can say like this is a real video.
Yeah.
But I don't know what that thing is. I mean, if you're looking it up right now, it's eerie.
The Fresno Nightcrawler.
Yeah, Nightcrawler. That's what it is.
Yeah, I think I've seen. Oh yeah. Like it looked like someone was like in there.
Yeah, it just looks like a little skirt just floating across the.
You know, back in the day, you ever watch Sesame Street?
Yeah.
You know, they had that they had little characters like that. You know.
Yeah.
Like fucking. I remember seeing this. I didn't know it was Fresno. It's crazy how much alien footage happens in Fresno. I tell people how big Fresno is. And they're amazed, like, dude, it's so fucking big. So much stuff happens. We think they were smoking or making meth here because it's fucking so much space. You know, then they eventually got enough cops to fill up those spaces, so they started going to Lodi and Merced. You know,
a lot of stuff happened. The Kai, the hatchet.
Oh yeah,
that happened here. There's also a conspiracy. Like there was some. I don't know what his name was. I think it's John Lang. Do you know the story of that guy?
No.
Oh man, so that one was nuts. That happened in Fresno. What was going on was he was trying to expose the Fresno Police Department because what they were doing.
Oh no, I know what you're talking about now. Yeah.
Yeah.
And they fucking he died and burned his fucking house
he
down.
had, like stab marks in like the back in his back. Like
yeah.
And they were just like, well, you know, he just burned with the house.
Oh yeah.
Like, oh okay.
Dude, sometimes I think like I'm on a blackball list because like. I'm a realist, so lying the truth is kind of the stay. I always tell back in the day. I'd tell at the end of my every episode, hey, critical thinking, go get some. I'm always being into politics. I try not to get into politics too much, but like just common sense, you know, shit. But here in the Valley, I love my town, born and raised.
Absolutely.
But let's be honest. Let's be honest, right? It's the 5th largest population in California, in the 6th richest economy in the world, and we're the poorest city in the state. We're the least educated. We have the highest crime, and we have this 100 years of the same voting policies. Yeah, we've been Republican for 100 years. I'm a Democrat. I'm a union worker. So, anyways, but so like we've been like that forever. Police, I'm down for a police department, but in the last 2 or 3 years, I guess they have something like 2.5 million city allots for like abuse cases and shit. Oh, but it's been up to 4.5 million. So now we're going 2 million in debt. The police department has been putting us in. And then they just hired another 150 guys. Wow. You know, I'm like, oh shit. So one day I was like, just look up shit, you know, like, so I got online, I said, Fresno PD. And the first thing that popped up was Fresno PD, Indeed, you know, the job place. Yeah. So it's just people who worked there or applied there. And dude, there's like 100 bad reviews about sexism and cronyism and all this other shit. It's like, damn.
Dude, you got to think about, what was his name? I think his name was like Chris Frontier. I don't know what his name exactly was, but he was in the LAPD, and he went crazy. He wrote a big manifesto about how there's so much corruption.
The black guy.
Yeah. I don't know what his last name is, but it's Chris F something.
Yeah.
And he was talking about that, like how there was just so much corruption, and he would try to call it out, and then that turned into him getting demoted, and he kept.
Trying to get his job back.
Yeah, so then he went crazy and just went on a shooting spree just to like.
Well, he took his pension and then he like went to a cabin and they're like, and they fucking.
And they burned the cabin down.
Yeah, they didn't like. What's that guy's name? David Koresh. You know, from the same shit. You know, the Colts. Like, oh, I guess he couldn't make it out. You know, man, it's crazy. Yeah, Fresno PD, a lot of stuff. Just like Jerry Dyer's been doing crazy stuff now. So he's been, I'm on his side all of a sudden. I don't know why, but he's been doing great stuff now. Yeah. But before, when he was mayor,
pretty sketchy. There was some stuff.
The number 2 guy got arrested by the FBI. You had no idea the dude was selling was it heroin? And then 2 weeks after that, his nephew gets busted for Oxycontin possession. Like, come on. You know, you got to know what's going on, right? Especially if you're that involved, and if you're that guy, right? You're the leader of the police department. You're probably a leader of your family, right? That's who you are. You don't know what's going on. So, and then I don't know if you remember back 20 years ago, Fresno PD, they were chopping up cars that got busted. They had 2 or 3 guys. They were getting stolen cars, chopping them up. Sheriff's department, they got busted. They were pulling over Hispanics because they don't have a bank account. And they know around Friday they get paid. Hey, let me see your ID. It's like, oh, thank you.
Oh,
and
no way.
Those guys finally got popped.
Damn.
You know, because one of the guys, he was a citizen. He's like, fuck that guy. I know my rights.
Oh,
you know?
That's crazy, man.
Yeah, we get deep here. Yeah, no, recently we were talking about Rogan and Neil Young. I guess
I'm a pretty big Rogan fan. I just have no idea what the beef is between him and Neil Young. What's going on?
So I love Rogan, big fan of him too, and fan of Neil Young. But I guess Neil Young doesn't like the information that Joe Rogan's putting out about COVID.
Okay.
That he doesn't like the information that the Comedic Satire podcast is putting out about medical information. So you got to understand it's Joe Rogan. He's a comedian. It's not listed under education or informative. He's smoking weed and drinking whiskey during that. If you went to your doctor and the dude poured out a shot and check this out, I'm talking about your cancer, but like, well, it's not good, right? Either I'm going to die because you're giving me a shot, or you're not qualified, right? But so Neil Young said, to Spotify, if you don't take his stuff down, take my stuff down. And Spotify said, who are you again? Like you can go keep on rocking the free world, and we're just going to go and take you off Spotify because you only got 5 downloads last week as it is,
Well, Rogan's getting a lot of heat right now because I guess there was a doctor that got banned off Twitter because his whole stance was, the vaccine is fantastic, you should get it, but it should not be forced upon you. That was his stance. And Twitter was like, nope, get him out of here. They pulled all the stuff off Twitter. They pulled all the stuff off YouTube. And then they had him on, then he went on the Joe Rogan podcast.
Yeah.
And YouTube pulled it from YouTube. And Spotify was like, they kept it up. So YouTube is just, they pulled the guns out on Spotify, like, hey, you need to take this down. And Spotify's like, hey, we don't currently have a policy on anything like this. So Rogan right now isn't breaking any rules. So it's just crazy. But like that's it. Like his stance was, it's good. The vaccine is good. Get it, but it shouldn't be forced.
Yeah,
and that is just like how could you?
Yeah.
How could you do that? Yeah. You're so problematic to the growth of society, and it's just like, what's he really saying?
Yeah, it's just an opinion. It's just an opinion. Yeah, the guy didn't write a bill. Didn't make he just make an opinion.
He's opening up with, I agree with the vaccine. You should get it.
I know they had another guy on there. He was, I guess, supposedly he calls himself the creator of the vaccine, the rDNA or DNA, whatever it is, the new method. He's the one that created it, but he's against the vaccine. So you had that guy on there. But apparently, I guess that guy's not getting the credit that he deserves. So that's why he's like, you guys shouldn't get this vaccine,
salty.
So a little saltiness. So it's hard to see like where he's coming from, That's
real, man.
So, but like I said, he's a comic, and I'm an electrician. I don't have the PhD in anything. So when I say some stuff, I said yesterday, what did I say? I was talking about Peter Dinklage, the guy from Game of Thrones. I said
Game of Thorns.
Game of Thrones, yeah. I said Crown of Thorns or Game of. I didn't say it right. So I'd say the wrong shit all the time, But I'm not trying to say I know what the fuck I'm talking about, I'm just trying to be funny. You know what I mean? And most of the time that don't even work. So, yeah.
But what do you say? What Peter Dinklage look?
Well, see, he made a good point. Trying to almost exactly kind of what you're talking about now. Like, why are they getting so mad about the vaccines when there's so many other things you can possibly get mad about if you want to talk about it, But Peter Dinklage made a point is they asked about woke culture, and he's like, I got a whole different perspective being a little person. He said, yeah, and this is great. He says this. He says Snow White is coming out, and they casted a Mexican girl. So he's like, I really don't care, but they want to be, woke, so they have this Mexican chick. But the thing was, it's a German writer about this German white girl named Snow White in Germany. He said, so if you want to change that, why you still have 7 dwarfs? Why couldn't it be 7 dudes? Why did it have to be some mystical short people that fucking saves his chick? He's like, that's fucking bullshit.
Real.
And I'm like, oh, yeah, that makes some sense, too,
It could just be 7 helpers. They don't have to be dwarves.
Yeah, why did it have to be fucking dwarves at all? You all of a sudden you had, like, the liberty to do whatever you want to do, and you're like, nah, we'll keep that. It reminded me of the Dave Chappelle joke when he said he went to Netflix, and they said he couldn't say the F word, for gay people. He says, well, you're not an F word. He says, well, you let me say the N-word, and I'm not an N-word.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, you got me. You know what I mean? Like, so there's like all this picking and choosing of all these like terms what we're going to feel bad about.
If anything, the dwarves they should make 7 Mexicans and make her be white. That makes a lot more sense.
There you go. That totally. Yeah, exactly.
I am Mexican, by the way.
Yeah,
No?
yeah. So yeah, me too. Very, very, very little bit. I wish I was more Hispanic. When I was a kid, you're talking about you didn't like comedy. I didn't like Mexican food. And my mom I know it was terrible. I used to think ketchup was hot. I never ate salsa. we'd go to all the Mexican restaurants, and I would get like a tostada, like anything I get close to like a basic bean tostada, but they don't have none of that on a recipe on the menus 30 years ago. Now they always have stuff for kids, but 30 years ago, Mexican restaurant, like, fuck you. We make Mexican food. So like, but then when I'm in construction about 17, 18, all of a sudden that's all you have the choice of when the food truck comes on. I'm in love with it. You know, now I'm just couldn't get enough. But, my mom doesn't speak any Spanish. If you see my mom, you think she's a white lady. And besides the fact she's 85 and still dyes her hair, She does all the Mexican characteristics. She sews. She made my clothes. She gardens. She cooks everything from fucking scratch. Right. You know how the recipe goes? A little bit of this, a little bit of that. You go there, you're leaving with food. Every time my kids come by the house, oranges and grapefruits and shit, like we fit all this. My birthday, I got a German chocolate cake because that's what my dad liked. Because the Mexican mom takes care of the dad, not the kid. So like, I never got a cake I liked.
That's funny, man.
Are you? You have brothers and sisters?
I got sisters. I got 3 older sisters.
Oh man,
yeah,
a little different.
Yeah, I know. Growing up was rough, man. A lot of NSYNC blurring in the background, and a lot
my goodness,
a lot of Backstreet Boys, and I'm telling you, video games, man. I just lost myself in Sega Genesis.
Hell yeah, Sega Genesis. They had the Mortal Kombat.
Oh yeah,
that's why I got the Sega Genesis.
That was blood for the first time.
Yeah, it was awesome. Well, I don't know how old you are, but I'm 45.
35.
I think so. Like back in the day when Mortal Kombat 1 or maybe it was 2 came out, there's only a couple places that actually had the real arcade, and only a few places where it's actually a quarter. So we were stoners, so like 18, like, man, there's one 7-Eleven on Bullard and fucking this would play. So we play Mortal Kombat. And then when it came on Genesis, I was trying to get your stoner friends out of the liquor store to come hang out at your house with the, like, no, it's kind of our thing, I don't care.
I remember that, man. I remember when Mortal Kombat 3, there was some little gas station on Belmont and like Palm that, for whatever reason, they had Mortal Kombat 3, and we like would just gather up there and it would be a bunch of kids just like going at it. And there's that one kid who knew all the fatalities. Oh yeah. And we would just sit there in awe watching him, just like, dude, teach me. And he'd be like, no, fuck you.
Yeah, secret. Where'd you get all the secrets? It's funny too. I hear people nowadays and say, well, kids nowadays, they always play video games. When we were younger, like, yeah, we had video games too, bitches. We had Nintendo and Sega. It was just all my friends were all hanging out playing video games. No different,
It's sad though, man, because like back then, a developer would come out with a game, and that was their spear to stardom. It was like, we got to put as much juice into this game as possible to make. So there's games that still stand the test of time because they put all that effort and energy into it. Yeah. Now they come out with one, piece of shit game, and it sucks. Well, then we'll add some DLC. We'll patch it. Yeah. Like, there's no love that goes into it. Like it's all just about money now. Yeah. That's a big difference between gaming back when we were growing up and gaming now. Now it's just different. Yeah. No, it was a big thing when the game came out. It was huge. Quake, GoldenEye. Oh man, GoldenEye when that came out. Yeah. Still great. Yeah, it still plays freaking great, man. Yeah. No, my kids, I have 2 boys, an 18-year-old and 17-year-old, and they're big into gaming. So I think they play Apex, Apex Legends. Apex is big right now. Yeah, they love that one. Like he never, for some reason, never got into Call of Duty or the Modern Warfare. What's the one that we play? See it? What's that one? Call of Duty, Modern Warfare, Fortnite. People play that. Yeah, sometimes play Fortnite. It's funny when people also say they make kids violent. I'm like, okay, sweet. I can't wait till all these architects come out and start building all these buildings, but that's never going to happen. You should use that on stage. Yeah. That's hilarious. Yeah. It's not here. Yeah. It's on here. That's one of the good things about being in construction is there's kind of like no rules, So like I'll work maybe with 1 to 5 or 10 guys, and then I'll see 100 people through the job site today. And everybody's so different from, Black, Mexican, Asian, and I can just run bits. But the only time sometimes we aren't ready for it.
They're like, what are you talking about?
Dude, that's the thing. Is like, some jokes that work off stage don't work on stage. No. And then the same jokes that work on stage don't work on the internet. There's 3 different paradigms. Mm-hmm. Like right here between, like, let's say you and your buddies. Like, just like you were talking about, 5 dudes. You could just go off and just say anything because it's in the moment. It's right here. Yeah. And then in the crowd setting, like on stage, you kind of have to say a joke that goes over their head that they're able to catch, you know? But on the same respect, in a video like YouTube, that joke just has to be straight. It can't be over there. It has to be like just a funny joke. Yeah. Because you're sitting on your couch in your underwear, you know, 2 seconds in, you're like, next. You know? Whereas at a comedy show, you're sitting there and you're like, okay, I'm here. Just like you were saying, you're kind of watching. You're like, okay, where's this going? I see what they did. You know, you don't get that respect on a YouTube video. A YouTube video needs to be fucking precise. You know what I'm saying? So it's crazy, man. Yeah, no,
I've thought about it a couple of times because I write so much. I'm like, maybe I'll just put a bit online, and it was like, it's got to be perfect. You know,
it has to be perfect.
Take all the words out. Andrew Schultz, he did a bunch of stuff on a podcast. He's like, you know what, I can sell it to Netflix, and he did the Andrew Schultz Saves America, and all those jokes were pretty much written on the podcast, and then took those to the skit, but then they had to perfect every joke, you know, and then. And then he made like 8 episodes of this, like 30-minute episode. But like, it has to be perfect. It's hard, you know. So when I see people get a good joke down, I'm like, oh, that was clever. You know, I think sometimes people think they could do everything. I think the best thing that people can realize what they can't do. You know, like everybody thinks they can write or tell funny jokes or, you know, what it is, sing, play guitar. You know, I write music and I tell people like guitar's my main thing, but I never tell anybody I'm a guitar player because I feel it's almost like rude to the 11-year-old Asian kid who plays 2 guitars at one time. You know, he's a guitar player, you know, and I'm playing, you know, 4 chords. I'm a douchebag. I'm a songwriter. So like I try to know my zone, who I am. And it's like some people need.
As you should. That's good.
Know who you are. Yeah. You know, and then try the best you can. You know,
that's all you can do.
Set low expectations. That's my life. I used to like date girls who had broken down cars. I always thought, oh, you think that car's good? Wait till you see my crappy car. Low expectations. You know,
the law. What do I call it? The law of attainability. You know what I'm saying? You see a chick. There's Carmen Electra sitting on a couch. And then there's just some chick from Fresno sitting on the couch. Who's hotter? Oh, yeah. Right? Carmen Electra, right? No, wrong. Because you have 0 chance at getting Carmen Electra. But the random chick from Fresno, you got a chance.
Hell yeah.
She now is 100% more attractive. Yeah. She's more attainable.
Exactly.
Weird. I don't know how that had to do with your...
No, that's how I work in life. We had a guy in here twice now, and he's like, all I know is if we talk about something, in 2 seconds, you're going to be in a whole different subject. I'm like, that's how I do it, you know. Fucking my kids are like, you know, getting lectured, and like, man, where are you going to talk about clean my room again? You know, I'm like, talking about backyard shit, and like, just go off in life lessons and shit. So, no kids? No marriage?
No kids, man. No
Single
kids.
Guy?
Single guy, man. I've been kind of, this haircut is single. How could you have guessed? You know what I'm saying? No, no, man. I've just been focusing on comedy. You know?
Oh, yeah.
That was my whole big focus. And comedy is not a good foundation for a healthy relationship. You need someone who's down to put up with nonsense, you know, and, you know, there's just not that many chicks that are open to that. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? But that's different now. Now I'm more focusing on work and doing comedy. Less is like, hey, I'm going to make it, and more of like, I'm only doing this for fun. So now things are different, you know. Now I'm looking really good. I'm seeing all my friends that are in these relationships where they're like on the brink of divorce. They got a kid here, a kid there, and like there's all kinds of. So I'm pretty happy that I waited that one out.
Yeah, that's always good. I tell my kids too, who are going to dating right now, take your time. There's no rush for everything. Love everybody. Don't get into any kind of commitments. And then last podcast there were 3 guys that never been married talking about what it takes to get a woman. It was great. It was awesome. I was just sat there and just got quiet for a while. Like, let's just see where this goes. But you know, like you were saying though, like, you know, it's hard to deal with. You know, you're like comics, jokes. I'm a special person to deal with me. So my wife that deals with me, you know, it had to work out to fit in the group. You know, if I'm trying to make it work, it's hard to be dating and meeting someone new. You know, at the same time, I was already had a relationship. Then I'm like, sweet, check's up, babe. I'm gonna go do this now. You know, so I'm already a jerk and a weirdo at home. I'm just gonna take that out there. You know, and then my wife doesn't watch any of this.
Yeah, you kind of need someone who's completely separate from it, you know. And I've definitely tried with relationships, and they always want to get their fingers in it. Let me go with you. Let's go travel. And I try. Yeah, come on out. And it's just a drag.
Never.
You know?
Yeah.
Yeah. So having a separation like that, we're like, hey, I'm gonna support you from over here.
Yeah.
But you go on and do you, bud.
Yeah.
You know, you kind of need that relationship.
I'm in my second marriage, and I've always had this thing about not being connected on social media. Like, me and my wife aren't friends. You know, I think she follows the show now, like, on Instagram, but we don't use Facebook. You know, but, like, we're not friends on, because, like, one, I took the picture or I'm in the picture. And it'd be really weird for me to like something sitting next to you, a picture I took. Like, this circle is fucking weird, you know? So, like, I'm not going to be your friend. We're a friend in real life. And then, like, I am a jealous person, and I think a lot. Like, so if some dude, like, hey, you look good. Like, yeah, bitch, she does look good. You know, so, or then my wife might say, like, who's that girl? Like, I don't know. It's from Alaska. You know, I don't fucking know. Or, you know, there's a lot of porn advertisements.
There is.
Dude, Snapchat, you'll get a fucking random chick, like, hey, what's up? You know, want to have sex? Or, you know, there was a while there where I was getting text messages of, like, porn sites, like, hey, you want to have sex or a date, whatever it was. I'm like, what the fuck? So, like, instead of getting involved in any bullshit, let's eliminate it. Me and my wife are friends in real life. So in social media, people say there's a lot of, we get involved in that shit. I mean, I took every picture. You know what I mean? And then also lets her have a little bit of her own life. You know, if she's gonna cheat, she's gonna cheat anyways. You know, just because I'm friends on social media doesn't mean she's not gonna cheat on me. You know what I mean? Or I'm not gonna be the one, like, you know, Mary and Dave have a fucking Instabate. You're a fucking broken person. You know what I mean? That's never gonna work. You know what I mean? I've never seen anybody who has a codependent, like, Facebook page that, you know.
Oh yeah, somebody cheated. That's not. Yeah, that's never worked.
That's weak. Yeah, that's just calling it out. You're like, we can't even survive, and just get rid of the social media. You know what I mean? Just eliminate it. You know, maybe they're tagging them, like Brandon, like, hey, this motherfucker got busted. Let you know.
Yeah, branding you. You're on fucking your jail. Your time out right now.
I say the show's like cheaters and shit. I've always been worried, and I'm a Leo. I've always been a loyal kind of person. But show like cheaters, I would never cheat, because even like a hot chick came up to me and said, "Hey, you're kind of funny." Like, nah, dude, where's the camera? This is a setup. I don't buy none of this. And Jerry Springer, they would set people up too. They'd have someone come in and they'd bring someone in the green room, you know, like, oh, you had an affair. Like, we didn't have an affair for 5 years, but in the green room you cheated, you know? So yeah, I don't fucking trust nobody.
Yeah, as you shouldn't, man. DTA.
Are you from Fresno?
I was born in L.A., and I moved out here when I was 4 years old, so
Right.
I don't know anything other than Fresno, and I've pretty much been out here this whole time. So
Fresno school, Clovis school?
yeah. I went to the Central Grizzly.
Oh, hell yeah.
That was my thing.
Yeah, awesome. I grew up, there's only two high schools, Clovis West and Clovis High.
Okay.
And then I went to Tarpey's, and I shipped us like 11 miles away. My mom was, like I said, in Hispanic. She made my clothes. So, like,
She made your clothes?
She made my clothes, you know?
Jeez.
So, like, I had, like, spandex fucking shorts or fucking biker shorts. Like, you know, was it skateboarding was popular, so they had, like, the, you know, baggy shorts. And then I go to Kasner, and kids had, like, Z Cavarici shorts. I'm all, oh, your mom put your name on your clothes? Z Cavarici? That's pretty cool. I should put my name on my clothes, too, you know? It's like a fucking culture shock. My dad's a plumber, you know? I'm going to this other generation of people. But Central is a school where, like, anybody who has any... My kid plays football. He's quarterback here in the Buchanan area. It is a political mess with coaches and parents and buying things. It's like, we're transferring out so bad. So far,
What's the issue? What's the
parents buy the teams. So, like, the team my kid plays on, there's another quarterback he's gone against for a decade. The kid has never been any good. He's not any good as a quarterback. He's a great wrestler, but his dad buys a team. Literally lost every game, and every coach has been fired every year, but the dad gives like 10 to 15 grand.
So his son's got to be the quarterback.
Got to be the quarterback. So
oh God!
The last game they played, Clovis East.
Horrible.
Clovis East had no quarterbacks. They put a defensive player at a quarterback. He was a DB. Now he's quarterback. Never played quarterback in his life. Going against Buchanan's JV team. Yeah, JV team. The kid who's playing quarterback for Buchanan is the worst. He throws more interceptions than touchdowns. He has more safeties than, like, positive yards. It is a joke. Like, it is such a joke. I mean, very first throw of the game, he throws an interception. And I'm in the audience, and I have a clap. You know, it was like, and they all hear it, and all the people, they know who I am because we're sick of it. So we're like, I'm like, you fucking deserve this. You fucking deserve this, because the parents won't say nothing. They stay quiet because they're happy their kid plays, but their kid isn't battle quarterback like my kid does. My kid's fucking legit, you know? My kid's like fucking 6 foot, 200 pounds, 17 years old. But anyways, first throw, interception, boom. The other team gets the ball. They're battling. This other kid, he's not a quarterback on the other team. He's throwing lobs up. Like, it's almost like a joke.
Oh, my God.
And they're beating them. At the very end of the game, they're about to lose the game. Buchanan, no, they have the ball. All they do is not lose fumble the ball to lose the game. The kid throws another interception. The team goes down 90 yards and beats this team again. They literally lost. I think they won one game. It was like Danuba or something like that. But all the parents who get sick of this shit,
oh my God,
they go to Central, because Central's awesome over there, bro. The school's amazing. And I coached youth football for a long period of time. The community's awesome. I love the kids. I love the parents there. And that's people are going. It's the new Clovis.
Interesting.
10 years.
Interesting. Well, they're doing a huge development out there on Herndon 99, which is, I believe, in the district of Central. I think they got an Olive Garden down there. They got a theater, a Target, and I believe a Costco. The Costco that's on Shaw and Blythe is moving to that shopping center.
Oh, yeah. It's going to grow.
Yeah, so I feel like, yeah, you're right, man. Maybe here.
Well, the football team there, they won the Valley Championship like 3 or last 4 years.
Oh, damn, I didn't
Their
know that.
quarterback last year was DJ Stevenson, I think. Not this year, but the year before, DJ Stevenson. His dad was like Deshaun Stevenson or Lance Stevenson, professional basketball player. Anyways, that kid is legit. He's going pro somewhere. The quarterback 2 years before that, his name was Trent Tompkins, the number one quarterback in the nation. More running yards, more passing yards, more touchdowns than any quarterback in America from Central.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean, there's some talent there. Yeah.
Crazy.
The wrestling team's good, the baseball teams, and there's it's like a weird kind of eclectic amount of money, because there's like farmer money, but there's still some poor kids out there, so you get a lot of grit.
Yeah, for sure. Because you have to go to Central West for the first year. I don't know if they still do that, but when I was there, they made us do that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so you go to the West, so that is pure farm.
Oh,
that's farm world out there, and then you go to the Central East for the last 3 years. So. Yeah, man, a lot of grit, a lot of fighters out there.
Yeah, that's how Clovis started out. Clovis back in the day, because we were kind of like a farm town, and now we're kind of like just like this, where rich people hide their money kind of town. Like, no one actually lives or works here. They just live here, and then the taxpayers pay for the schools. But back in the day, we had we still Buchanan and Clovis High. They're like 2-3 miles apart. They're number 1 and 2 in the nation in wrestling, and they have been for like the last 5 or 6 years. That's pretty amazing,
Jesus.
Small little schools, a lot of talent here. See, so we don't know where we're going. Joe Rogan, Neil Young, wrestling, Central. I don't know what the fuck's happening.
No, I feel like Fresno truly is like a hidden gem. Like right now, Fresno, Clovis, we live here, so we think there's nothing to do, because we live here. But if somebody from another town comes here, like, damn, this is huge. You got so much to do. And we're just like, what are you talking about?
Yeah.
No. But there actually is. Like, we've grown so much, but we all have the mentality like it sucks to be here.
Yeah.
We haven't really just stopped to smell the roses.
No, we're acclimated. We're the frog in the water, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's where we're at right there. It's beautiful. I tell everybody how beautiful it is. I work in San Jose, so I'm a homer. Like, so I'm in the Bay Area, and people are talking about stuff like, oh, yeah, you know what about Fresno? Well, the Oakland Raiders, and then I'm talking about everybody famous. Oh, yeah? Well, he played for Fresno State, so, like, constantly, they're like, oh, here comes Fresno. Come here, Fresno. I'm like, yeah, I'm actually from Clovis. I'm like, whatever, so. But I heard the other day that they're going to bring a Six Flags here.
That's a rumor, and boy, would that be sick.
Yeah. I've read about, they said next month they're going to come up with a yes or no.
Wow. If that happens, game changer.
Yeah, it'd be awesome. The only bad thing is they're going to put it by Grizzly Stadium, I know.
I couldn't even imagine what that would look like. That would be crazy.
They're going to tear down all that shit, and they're going to build it up there. That's what we need, though. I've been saying we need a big team. We need a amusement park. We need something here to let people know that we're here. We're between Sacramento. So this is my goal. I don't know. I've said this a lot in here because I'm trying to get anybody who wants to hear to help out. So I got business plans. I got all this stuff I'm working on. So I've been doing podcasts for about 3 years. I've been producing music for about 20 years. Been stand up and writing forever. But I'm taking this podcast idea and going to be turning it into a legit comedy club. Not a place that does comedy. A bar that does nothing but comedy all day. And then also has studios attached to it to promote for shows. When someone like Ian Edwards comes through, he comes through the podcast, promotes, and it just constantly getting creation.
Dude,
you know,
I'm the one who brought Ian Edwards.
Oh, dude, I hit him up. I saw you when he was going to Fulton. I was chatting up. He almost came on the podcast. He was about to come on here. We were chatting. We chat all the time, dude. I talked to.
He's such a down to earth guy.
So nice.
Such a down to earth guy.
Very few people respond to me, dude, and he'll just have a conversation, like talk to me back and forth. So
He's a cool guy.
I can comment very nurturing on that relationship, you know.
Yeah. I try my hardest with people like that to just never, unless it's like absolute, because he will. Like if you've already established that connection, you know what I'm saying. So, but I never reach out to him because I want to make sure the next time I reach out, it's like some good shit, you know what I'm saying? So, but no, exactly right. That'd be sick if we had a comedy club out here.
Yeah.
You think about it. San Jose, how many comedy clubs do they have? Sacramento, San Francisco, San Diego. All these places have multiple.
Sacramento has
multiple.
People don't understand that Sacramento, one, is a smaller town. I don't want to be mean. Shithole. No, it's a beautiful town. If you go to Sacramento, it's awesome. But it's not it's still Fresno's top 5 population.
Correct.
You know what I mean? Like, we're ahead of Sacramento.
We should at least have one comedy club.
Something.
You know?
I mean, a legit, it's all it is. So when someone comes here and says, I'm doing comedy in Fresno, and say, where did you play at? I played at the deli. You know what I mean? No, I played at a comedy club.
I played at a fucking sports bar. No. The thing about it is the one thing that could really ruin everything if we did have a comedy club and it was run by the wrong person. If it was run by somebody who was just focusing on money, what they would do is they would cater their comedy to Drake fans. You know, 97.1 listeners. You know, and that's just like you can do that, but it should never be catered to how much money you can make. It should only be who's the best at comedy, period, you know? So it's like, I fear that. I fear the day that a comedy club does come up in Fresno. For the first few months, it'll be like, okay, but then some, you know, greedy money grub, you go, oh, you know, if we had, you know, this comic and this comic, you know, and it's just like, oh, man, those comics are hacked. They're, you know, but they sell tickets, you know? Like, that's the one thing I hate. That's the one thing I hate about stand-up is, like, show business in general, you know? Just... if you sell tickets, it doesn't matter. They'll put you on.
Yeah, you know? It's hard. Said I try not to do too like who's the guy who he has the puppet?
Jeff Dunham.
Jeff Dunham. People love him. Not my style.
Not my style either.
You know,
I respect it.
Yeah.
You know, and the first few times I saw it, I was like, okay, but I mean, that guy would just sell. He would sell out the Save Mart Center.
Well, I try to think about it like Jeff Dunham is the hustle. Like, I know that guy's working his ass off, and, you know, he does have jokes, I guess, you know, so, like, and it's not my thing, but, like, so I try to see people's hustle, even though I don't like their stand-up or whatever it is, you know, like music, you know, if I don't like your music, doesn't mean I don't like, doesn't mean I hope you aren't successful, you know what I mean? You're working hard, I believe in you, you're writing good music. Just because I don't like country music doesn't mean I don't want you to be successful. Fuck yeah, he's the best country artist. You heard a song? I don't like, not my stuff, you know what I mean? But the guy's good, you know? But it's hard there, you know. But definitely, it when it comes down to comedy, you have to be. It's art, you know. You have to let the people do their thing, you know. And instead, you seen that show? I don't know if you watch. You don't watch much comedy, but this is called "I'm Dying Up There."
That is one I haven't seen.
It's only 2 seasons.
I saw Crashing.
Is Craig kind of good?
That one was essentially, it's like about comedy. I thought that one was amazing. And the same people that told me about Crashing told me about I'm Dying Up Here.
Yeah.
They're like, you got to watch it.
Yeah.
I just never did, but it's good.
I really like I'm Dying because I really like Andrew Santino, and then Eric Griffin. He's on there. And all of a sudden, you're like, dude, I love him all of a sudden. And there's a couple other people on there that do really good roles. But it gives you like a really insight of just, there's a lot of asshole mentality. And like, you can see like, okay, I can do better than that. You know what I mean? old school things. Like even like Rogan will talk about, like when he came up, there would be people wanting you to fail or not want to put you up because you're good. And now he's like, we're trying to nurture everybody. Hey, if you're good and you're fucking killing it, we love you. Your success is not going to hurt my success. If you're fucking killing it, the better chance of me being successful. You know what I mean? Because now you're getting attention. Eyes. That's what it's about. You know what I mean? So like, I want everybody to be successful who's hustling. You know, if you're deserving it, you're working your ass off, I want to see you be successful. Word. You know, that's what it comes down to me. You know what I mean? Oh, yeah. But like, I love seeing comedy. I went and saw Rogan, Chappelle, Tom Segura, and Darnell Rawlings. Went and saw them in Vegas like 6 months ago.
Wow.
It was a great show.
Darnell Rawlings is so good.
Yeah, he was halfway decent.
Oh, no.
But like, dude, he was stuck on, it was a weird event because like Darnell Rawlings came out and he said the F word towards gay people like a million times. Like literally within like 30 seconds, he came out. Like, wow, he haven't got to the stage yet. Like, and then he tells his jokes, but he was in a groove. And then Tom Segura, I can't remember what he talked about. And then Rogan talked about lesbians a lot, you know. And then Chappelle, I was right before he came out with his special, so his was about transgender. So it was like really like subject-oriented comedy. Wow. It was kind of like, wow, that's kind of weird.
Yeah, man, I feel like the best comedy isn't about that, isn't geared like that. You know, it's just about subjects. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
I feel like if you talk about politics, you know, LGBTQ, sore spots like that, it's kind of like, I always say this about political humor. You know what I mean? Like, if I have a red or a blue joke, let's say I have a full red joke, and I'm in a red crowd, it doesn't matter how funny the joke is, they're going to laugh, and they're going to clap because they support it. Yeah. And vice versa, in the blue crowd, I say this red joke, it doesn't matter if the joke is funny, they're going to just, you know, nod their head and be like, eh. Yeah. So in either scenario, the joke isn't being judged for its, you know, merit. Yeah. You know, it's all political humor. Yeah. After you know, I made that realization, I just kind of cut it all out.
Yeah, playing to the crowd.
Yeah, like it doesn't matter. Like even if you make them laugh, you're making them laugh for the wrong reasons. Yeah. If they don't laugh, they're not laughing for the wrong reasons. So it's like, there's no need for it. Political humor can just get out of here, man. Yeah, I'm very like I was talking the other day. I don't mix like my fruit and dessert mix, like just the way my mind works. Like we're talking like, hey, what sexual things you like? I don't know how it came with that object, but I don't mix sex with anything. You know, fruit, pain, nothing. Like everything's separate. You know, so like I don't know where we came from this subject either. What were we talking about? We were talking about political humor.
Yeah, so like political, like I don't almost like. I play music, but I don't like music and comedy. I don't mix those two things. Like someone I see someone with a guitar, I'm like, except for Stephen Wright, you know.
Ooh, what about Bo Burnham?
I don't like Bo. I don't know, but I respect him. I know he's a talented person. My boys love him. We gotta watch it, Dad. You gotta watch it. I'm like, fuck, fine. I'll watch. I know who Bo is, and I never really. I don't like this. I don't like singing.
What specials have you seen of his?
Well, I've seen the newest one, and then I've seen parts of his older ones. Anything is on YouTube or Netflix.
So his newest one, Inside.
The one with the lights and shit, yeah.
No, I think that one is Make Happy. He's on stage, right?
No, the one is in his room.
He's in his room. That's Inside.
Yeah, and
so that one, he's just gone insane. Yeah, and he's pretty much just showing you that. Yeah, which I thought was cool, but I can understand why some people wouldn't like that. But the one before that, Make Happy, I thought that one was a work of art. That one was...
I gotta check it out again.
I get what you're saying, though, because his first two specials were kind of like that. We're kind of like, I don't know about this. But that third one, Make Happy, that one was...
And see, I won't even judge it on if I think they are bad. Like, I don't try to say, like, I don't like AC/DC. I love Led Zeppelin, but it doesn't mean that AC/DC sucks. You know what I mean? So it doesn't mean Bo Durham's not good. Just not my style. I try to be judgmental like that. You know what I mean? Because who am I to say anybody's good? Literally, I'm here.
Yeah,
you know,
you just don't like mixing the two.
For some reason, I don't know why it is. But I love music, but I've never like mixed the two and never been funny to me. You know, but like back in the day, who's the other guy? Gallagher. I used to think that guy was fucking hilarious back then. He didn't play music instrument, but I fucking loved that guy. Yeah. You know, Stephen Wright's the only guy who ever told a joke when he plays with the guitar, but it's not really it's like my brain has two different parts, like an emotional part and like a cynical, like a thinking part, critical thinking part.
You ever seen you ever heard Flight of the Conchords? Any of their music?
I don't know. I think I have.
They're pretty good, but I get it. You know,
Yeah.
I understand where you're coming from.
But like people love what's the Jack Black.
Okay.
You know, I've never been into him. I don't know what it is, but like his regular movies, I dig him. Yeah. You know, but I don't know. But then I'm like, my music is really like, I don't even, when I play guitar and stuff, I wouldn't even invite people to see me. It's always like just like real personal. So I don't know. But if I made a joke about it, and just all of a sudden that takes away from the meaning. I don't know what it is. I'm a weirdo, so I don't know why I like certain things and I don't like certain things. So I have a taste.
Yeah,
You
you should.
Yeah.
As you should, man.
Well, so right now, music-wise, you listen to music? Only Drake and Hot Sauce.
No, man. Right now, it's I'm really into EDM, techno, house.
Oh yeah,
like that. You know, no words. You know, that's the kind of stuff I'm into right now.
yeah.
I'm really into raves. I've been going to raves lately.
Oh fuck yeah.
And Fresno actually has a really cool rave scene.
Hell yeah, it does.
Rainbow Ballroom puts on some. Man, I was there for New Year's. Packed. I was just there this last Saturday. They had Arm & Hammer out there in Champagne Drip. Wow, that place was sold out. There must have been 2,000 people in there. It was nuts.
Yeah,
it was just like a party, man.
Yeah, I used to have a host, and he puts on those shows, and he used to have a website called Cats and Gats.
Oh wow.
So like whenever a show's about to happen, like the after hour show, he's a web designer, so he'd put up the website and would give you a location, and then he would take the website down.
That's so gangster.
Yeah,
that's so gangster.
Yeah, popular. I was looking up like just I was looking at this thing called SEO, search engine optimization, and everything to help out the website. You know, so looking and reading, and then I started looking up. They were talking about tags. So you add a video. The best thing to get a lot of views is add a tag. You know, so then I'm looking up words, and then popular word is you were just saying lo-fi music.
Okay.
You know, lo-fi music is kind of like the older version of, you know.
It's like mellow, loungy.
Yeah, when people's kicking back at home and the party's over, you know. But that's really popular on YouTube. People will make a 60-minute video and just have lo-fi music.
Yeah, I don't really understand hashtags. I mean, it could be because we're both just from a different generation, but like, man, I've tried so hard to just work the algorithm and stuff, but that hashtag means like some just NPC is just Googling lo-fi music, and yours happens to be the one that comes first, and they happen to like it. You know, like, I don't know about hashtags, man. It's like, I just don't know how to use them.
I haven't got them to work either. I was talking to a couple promoters and stuff, trying to help everything out, and this guy was saying that he would give us the tags that we'd use. I'm like, I can just Google the same shit you're going to Google, top 100 tags, and I found them on top 100, and I fucking put them on there, you know, and see if that works. You know, YouTube's weird because, like, like I said, I play music, and I'll put a song out of me. This song is from my heart. It means a lot to me, and I'm going to record it and then put it on YouTube for the world to see me sing these words, right? And I'll get 20 views. And then I'll make a video about my iPhone broken, and I'll get 9,000 views. I'm like, fuck you, world. You know, fuck you guys, you know? So if I wrote a song about my iPhone breaking, maybe that can be popular, but you never know what's going to work, you know?
Yeah, you never do, man. You never do.
Yeah, they say a lot of these guys, they go viral by something, and I'll look up, like, TikTok.
Do you do TikTok?
I mean, you got to get involved in shit. Like you're like, you know, Patreon. Like, okay, I got to get involved in shit before I miss out. If I'm going to be a business, right? Because we're an LLC. This is a straight business. So, so I look up TikTok. I started my TikTok. Okay, let's get on there. But then I realized if you don't have 100 followers, you can't even go live.
1,000 followers.
1,000 followers, something like that. I was like, fuck. Now how do these guys get them? Some guys just doing ping pong balls all day in a cup.
Bro, that's the thing, man. I've been following TikTok since it started, and it's so crazy, man. You can get 1,000 followers if you posted 3 videos a day of the same exact thing. It doesn't matter what it is. If it's consistent, that's what the algorithm likes.
Oh, yeah.
So you're the page that, hey, you're throwing ping pong balls. Well, guess what? I'm into that. I'm going to follow, and I'm going to expect to see some ping pong balls. What a lot of people do is they take their Facebook tactic of, you know, or Instagram tactic of doing all these different things, and you take that to TikTok, and it just doesn't work.
Makes sense.
You know, so on TikTok, you have the opportunity to just explode.
It's a niche.
If you just stick to your niche. If you just stick to whatever box that you want to be in, you know. Because I had one video go viral about how to eat hot wings. It's a technique where I can eat a flat with just one hand. Yeah. And that one just went through the roof. I got a bunch of followers from that. But then these people are dropping off because they're like, "Where are the wings?
Where's the wings at, dog?"
So
No, I hear you.
But that, dude, that's the TikTok is a place to get on. Metaverse, unfortunately, is a place to.
Fuck, dude, sucks. Sucks. I don't want to get on Metaverse. You know, I don't have that much time. I was looking at it. We had talking to someone else. Like, what about Metaverse? Like, fuck. Do we have to buy a fucking space on Metaverse? Snoop Dogg has a space.
Dude, right now, it's just an open. It's freaking real estate.
Yeah, it's like NFTs right now. It's like, man, do I have to buy an NFT, right?
Bro, that's bullshit because you can't even make one. You have to pay to have someone make it. And it's like expensive.
Yeah.
It's Yeah, no. NFC, I never got NFTs.
The whole world is changing right now. It's a lot of like weird shit. And then I'm trying to explain to my wife, you know, this is where we need to put our money. You know, trust me, we're going to invest in fucking Bitcoin and NFTs. It's going to work out.
Bitcoin's tanking right now.
I know.
It's a lot of people are just upside down, dude.
Yeah.
But hey, it's a good time to buy.
Yeah.
If you're going to buy when it's dipping.
That was one thing when people were like, hey, everybody's getting in the stock market. When I was in the Bay Area, I've been there for about 3 years now, everybody had the Robinhood app. And for $1, you can buy into a stock. Before that, you had to have $1,000 to buy a stock. So now Robinhood made accessibility to everybody. So everybody was now in the stock market. So, of course, it blew up because you have 50 million new fucking, you know, people, you know. But everybody at work was, you know, buying this and buying that and trading. The AMC. One guy made $500,000, bought his house. Like, fuck, bro. Like, I was making like $20. I was like, hell yeah. I'm going to go buy some weed. You know, my wife's all, fine, you can buy weed. You made your money. You know, so I like fucking, I don't know how people are doing it. Like, I guess you have to do it full time.
It's funny because I ran into an old coworker at the gym, and I was just catching up with him. Hey, man, what are you doing? Oh, dude, I'm finally at the point where I'm making passive income. I'm like, what? He invested in crypto, invested in all kinds of different stuff. And now his money is just coming in, you know, and it is scary. You got to go all in. You know, he was saying that there was a couple of months where he didn't know if it was going to, you know, pop off or not. And now he's good. Now he's just chilling. He just does whatever he wants, and money's just rolling in. That's
what it is. It's life is scary. You're talking about like calling it a hobby comic, or you know, if you want to make it whole, you get a living car. It's life is strange. Like, they tell you what you need to do is you need to go get a job, you need to work hard, and go to work every day. But really, to be successful in these things that we all want to do is you need not to have a fucking job. You need to have nothing, to go be bummed, party your ass off, make as many fucking friends, work your ass off doing your music, craft, whatever it is, and then that will be your job eventually.
That's exactly right. Focus on adaptability.
Yeah.
But there was a time where structure was king.
Yeah.
Get that college degree. Get that certificate. Get that. Now I feel like with the way things are evolving, focusing on your adaptability, focusing on how, you know, able you are to, you know, learn something new, because right around after Metaverse is going to be something else.
Yeah. Take a risk. Someone, I heard this the other day too. They said the best way to have a relevant company is have a section of your company working to make yourself irrelevant.
Whoa.
That means the next product, you're going to make the next product that makes your product, because someone's going to do it.
That's deep.
You might as well do it yourself. So you need to make yourself irrelevant. I was like, oh, fuck.
That's gangster.
Yeah. I think it was like Warren Buffett. You know, I'm not important enough to be like tied to these things. But when I hear these things, like, man, when I do, I'm going to fucking use that shit. Like he said, 20% of your labor equates for 80% of your profit. And I've taken that across everything. You know, how, you know, not everybody should be a boss. You know, not everybody should be we're all informed. I should make my own decisions. No, you shouldn't. You know, like if you should make your own decisions, you'd be the guy who's in charge. But you're not in charge of anything. You've never been in charge of anything. You know? So even at your own house, you have a husband, you listen to whatever fucking he says. You know, like there's just not everybody is a boss. And when we have too many bosses, they say we have too many cooks in the kitchen. Yeah. You know what I mean? So role players is what we need in life. Yeah. A lot of role players.
Absolutely.
You know? That's how it is, huh?
Dude, I mean, I feel like we dropped another 40 minutes after that 28 mark, yeah?
I have terrible eyesight. We're at 1 hour and 20 minutes. 1 hour.
Yeah, we dropped like another hour.
Hell yeah.
Right now. It didn't feel like that.
No.
What?
The key, like I said, the key to this is authentic conversation, right? Not to like have it controlled or like have a topic. I joke around. I have a piece of paper here, but one guy knew he had like, he's like, hey, I'm going to come in. I have bullet points. And I know he's kind of a conspiracy theory guy. So I wrote, Obama. That was my only thing I wrote. I'm like,
what conspiracy do you? I'm a big conspiracy theorist.
Well, he's more like right wing, where he's just like capitalism is taking over, and like just real basic, Illuminati kind of bullshit, Dude. And then how Democrats are in tied with fucking communists, like all the QAnon bull crap,
Bro, QAnon goes deep, man. I never got too deep into it, but there's literally people out there. Like when you get to the high tier conspiracy,
scary.
There's straight up people out there. They're like, no, man. We're not going to Mars. We are on Mars.
Yeah.
And they're tricking us into thinking that we're on Earth. Like, there's people out there that like...
Or they think the Nazis are living on Mars. That's why we don't go to Mars. That's another thing they think. The JFK is coming out to be vice president.
Oh, fuck.
They actually met. They had thousands of them in Texas with signs, and then he didn't show up. It's like, what the fuck is going on? And that's scary. There's a guy, Jordan Kelper. He's like from The Daily Show. He goes and he's talked to all these like Trumpers on YouTube, and he puts these videos. It is scary to hear these QAnon people believing it. And then, like, I left my family. I was living in my car. I just want to stop the Democrats from eating babies.
But the cool thing is it kind of separates the weak from the strong. Because I have a friend of mine who I had a lot of respect for him, and he went deep into the rabbit hole. But like I said, it separates the weak from the strong because he was able to at some point be like, okay, it's all bullshit. Because I remember there was one thing in QAnon that. The one of the major proofs that like he was on the inside was he had a picture of Trump he had a picture of the first
Melania.
No. What's the first class air it's the
Air Force One,
something like that. The
airplane.
No, it's like the plane that travels that moves the president around.
Yeah, Air Force One.
Is that what it is?
Yeah, Air Force One.
Yeah. Oh,
sounds cool, huh?
Well, he had a picture of the inside of Air Force One, of one of the planes, and like how could he have that if he wasn't on the inside?
Inside, yeah.
But then some autist on 4chan grabbed the photo, reverse engineered it, and found that it was photoshopped. And then QAnon's response to that was like, "Oh, I was just testing you guys." It's like, what?
Yeah.
Well, you don't have any proof anymore. There's nothing left.
Yeah.
How am I supposed to believe you now? So it's like, but then people look past that. We're like, no, this is the real shit right here.
It's crazy. I said I was trying to bring up hypocrisy. It's like critical thinking. How do you think that the government listens to everything we do? They know everything, but they don't know this guy posting on the internet. Q. They don't know who that is. Are you crazy? They know they had some money stolen, like on some crypto fucking hack, blah blah blah, and they took the money. The FBI, Homeland Security, got the money back in like 20 hours. Like, oh yeah, we got that fucking Bitcoin back. We know everything that's going on. So like when people think that they don't know who's Q, are you dumb? We are so confused as humans. Before COVID, all the MMA guys, they wore masks. They wore these fucking masks, right? And they had these vents on them because when you wear the mask, it makes it harder to breathe. It makes my lungs strong. And then I'm going to go to Denver.
That's true.
Yeah, I'm going to go to the mountains and I'm going to fucking where it's less oxygen and make myself tough. And then also we need to cover our face because they got cameras everywhere. They're doing fake recognition on us, right? And now we got to wear one that save our life. Like they're trying to kill us. Like, I don't know what side you're on,
bro. You've said 3 solid bits.
These things I do all the time.
This one for sure. That's money. The Fortnite of video games cause violence, and when are the architects coming from Fortnite? And then there's another. Oh, I'm not friends with my wife on Facebook. I thought that was pretty. Those are 3 bits, man.
There you go. I got to keep those in.
Yeah. Those are very unique, man.
Because that's what this is about. I mean, it gives you a chance just to say shit. You're like, that was funny.
That's a funny one, though. They actually were wearing those masks.
100%. I made a meme about it because they were selling them, and they were all wearing them. You go to the gym and someone's wearing a mask. It's like, oh, cool. You're like Bane, You're like, hell yeah, I'm like Bane, And then like now they're like, I'm fucking freedom, It's crazy. Like in construction, we've been asking for dust masks forever. So because it's dusty, it's dirty, and some of the job sites, especially in the Bay Area, they're really old. So we just want a dust mask, but they can't give you a dust mask because that doesn't work medically. They have to give you an N95, but the N95 you have to have it fitted, and if you have a beard or mustache, it doesn't work. So they say, well, we can't give you a mask. So we never got masks for decades. And now they give them to us free and be like, I can't wear this thing. It's like, dude, it was literally 6 months ago you were dying on dirt. Now they give you the thing you want and it's fucking killing you. It's like, we can't make decisions on anything. Whatever,
Brother, dude, I had a blast here, man, but I gotta...
Hey, no problem. I gotta go too. I got kids somewhere.
Yeah, we do.
I don't know what time it is.
Get out of here, man.
That's not that bad. Well, appreciate you. Hey, let's say go check you out at the Mint. 17th? Did I get it wrong? 13th.
The 19th.
19th.
Yeah, no, man. If anybody here, however you want to get this out there, I got 10 tickets for you.
Oh yeah, 10 tickets. I'll put it on the Instagram. I'll put a link on there. I'll tie you onto that,
I'll put a flyer.
Yeah, I'll do everything you need to do. I'll post
this guy's legit. Out of all the comics I've brought out, and I've been doing this for 12 years. I started producing at year 2, so I'm doing 10 years of producing. I've seen hundreds of comics. This guy is probably like the second strongest comic I've ever seen live.
Hell yeah.
And he's coming here on the 19th, and this is probably going to be the last time we're ever going to see him back here. Like, unless it's going to be at a bigger venue. A lot more, you know.
Yeah.
Definitely getting free tickets to that one, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But for sure, the 19th, that one's going to be a very special show, man. You should come check it out.
Oh, I will be for sure. I haven't been to the Mint yet, and I'll go there before that event. Make sure I try to get out there earlier.
Check it out.
Well, I really appreciate you. Another great episode, Lying in the Truth. Like, share, subscribe. Oh, that's you.
It was a pleasure. Chris Cruz Comedy. Follow me, Instagram. See me on comedy shows.
Hell yeah. Fresh cut. We out. Cool. Hell yeah.
Dude, that was a lot of fun, man. That was so it did not feel like that much time had gone by.
No, the more fun you have, it seems like the longer they are. And like, man, that was 2.5 hours.
Hey, so